What's up, ninjas? Welcome to Yoga with Dojo Cat. So today we're going to do things a little bit differently because at the time I'm filming this, I am sick again. So instead of subjecting you to the wheezing and coughing, I'm going to do a little voiceover for you. So let's just get into it today. So let's melt into a child's pose, knees wide, big toes to touch. Extend those arms out in front of you and bring your forehead down to the mat. If you like, you can keep this child pose active by lifting the forearms and spreading your fingers nice and wide. Or if you like, you can just relax those forearms to the mat. It's up to you. This is your practice and you can do whatever you want. I'm not your boss. From here, we will lift up into a tabletop position, bringing our knees under our hips, hands underneath our shoulders, and we'll go into our cat-cow flow. So let's connect our movement to our breath here. Inhaling as you expand, lifting your tailbone and your chin to the sky, and exhaling as you contract that spine, rounding it to the ceiling for cat pose. We'll move into some spinal waves in our cat-cow. So as you lift into cow, sink your hips down to your heels and then round that spine, bringing your shoulders over your wrists for cat. And then you can just, again, sync your movement to your breath. You can take this as slow as you need. Extend that right leg out behind you and press into your toes so you can get a nice stretch in your calf and soleus muscle. And then you can pick that foot up and drop it over top of your left foot and press into your toes again, and then gaze over that left shoulder back at your toes so you can stretch out that right side body. You can release that stretch, and we're going to take our left toes and pivot them behind us, plant that left hand to the mat and extend that right arm overhead, getting a nice stretch in that right side body. And you can bring that hand back down to the mat and come back into a tabletop position. Inhale that right arm to the sky and exhale, thread it underneath your left arm, bringing that shoulder to the mat. If you'd like to deepen this pose, you can take your left arm and wrap it behind your lower back and try to grab onto your right thigh. If your arm is behind your back, you can release that, and we're going to lift back up. Keep your knees stacked underneath your hips, and we're going to bring those arms out in front of us and melt your chest and chin to the mat for puppy pose. If having your chin on the mat is too intense, feel free to bring your forehead to the mat. You can release puppy pose, and we are going to take that work to the other side. Extend that left leg out behind you, press into the toes. And you can pick those toes up, drop them over that right leg, gaze back at those toes. Bring those toes back behind you, pivot your right foot behind you, extend that left leg so that it's straight, and then you can extend that left arm overhead for gate pose. You can release that pose, come back into a tabletop position. Inhale, left arm to sky. And exhale, thread that arm underneath your right arm. And if you'd like to take a bind by wrapping that right arm behind your lower back and grabbing onto your left thigh, you can do that. Release that bind, and you can come up onto your hands and knees and melt into a child's pose. You have the option as well to go into a closed-legged child's pose, and that's just a little easier on the lower back. And if you like, you can get a little rocking motion in, stretching one shoulder at a time by dropping one elbow and then the other. From this child's pose, we're going to roll all the way onto our bellies for a baby cobra pose. So stacking your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. And you can stay right there if you like, actively lifting your chin and chest off the mat, or if you'd like to get some gentle movement, inhale at center, and as you exhale, gaze over your right shoulder, inhaling back to center, and then gazing over your left shoulder. Just another spot where we can connect our movement to our breath and really deepen the stretch on those exhales. Plant your hands to the mat, and we're going to press into a downward facing dog. You can get some movement in here if you like, pedaling your feet out, or you can find stillness or rock up on your tiptoes, whatever movement that you feel like you need right now, you can take. Inhale your right leg to the sky. Exhale, bend that leg, open up that hip. On your next exhale, step in between your hands, drop that left knee, uncurl your toes, lift up into a low crescent lunge. You also have the option to keep your hands at heart center if you like. Really sink into those hips. Plant that left hand to the mat, extend right arm to the sky for a twist. Release the twist, bring those fingertips to the mat, straighten that right leg, take a deep breath, and then as you exhale, bend over that straight leg, trying to touch your nose to your knee. Remember, don't force anything. If you feel sharp pain, just give yourself a little bend in the knee. We just don't want to hurt ourselves when we're trying to take care of our muscles. And you can bend into that front knee and press back into downward facing dog. Take whatever movement you need here. Inhale, left leg to sky, exhale, bend that knee. On your next exhale, round your spine, touching that nose to your knee, and then bring that foot all the way through. Drop that left knee to the ground, uncurl those toes, rise up into a low lunge. Try to create that nice long line from the tip of your tailbone all the way to your fingertips. Plant that right hand, extend left arm to the sky for a twist. Release the twist. Bring those fingertips to the mat, straighten that left leg, deep breath, and exhale, folding forward over that straight leg. And you can release that half splits, press back into a downward facing dog. We're going to bring our feet nice and wide, turn those toes out, and then we're going to sink into a garland squat. Weight should be in your heels. Try to keep a nice long spine. And if you'd like to deepen this stretch, you can take your elbows inside your knees and just kind of press them open a little deeper. Bring those hands to the mat, straighten your legs, tiptoe those feet in so that they're about hip distance apart. And we are going to relax into a forward fold. You can tuck your hands into your elbows and get a little swaying motion if you like, or you can just keep your hands underneath your shoulders on the mats. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, gaze forward. And exhale, forward fold. Try to get a little deeper if you can. You can wrap your arms behind your knees and just kind of rest your upper torso on your legs if you like. Inhale your hands to the sky to mountain pose. And you can bring your hands to heart center. That is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I would love to have you in my little dojo. And I will see you guys next week, where it will probably be like this again because I'm still sick. Os.